What's up, everyone? Welcome to the February 1st edition of FanDuel Tournament Plays presented by Prize Picks. I'm your host, Adam Scherer. You can find me on Twitter at ShipMyMoneyDFS. And as a reminder, you get one free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum when you sign up and make a deposit at Prize Picks. Be sure to use the code Awesemo to receive a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. There is a 7-game NBA slate tonight. We're going to take a look at 5 of the top tournament options on FanDuel. As a reminder, be sure to tune into the deeper dive and live before lock in the 2 hours preceding lock for more up-to-date information. We'll have hopefully more accurate injury news at that point. We'll have a better idea of exactly how the slate looks. But for now, taking a look at 5 of the top tournament options on FanDuel. Number 5, Scottie Barnes, $6,900, small forward, power forward eligible, currently projected for 9% ownership with a 12% chance of being in the optimal lineup. Barnes has averaged 0.91 FanDuel points per minute this season. Not a particularly appealing spot tonight going up against the Miami Heat. Miami plays at a slow pace. They defend well. Toronto only has about a 107 implied total, but you are likely to get 36 minutes or so from Barnes. And anytime someone is on the floor for that many minutes at this price tag, there's a pretty substantial ceiling. Number 4, Anthony Edwards, $8,600 shooting guard and small forward eligible, projected for 13% ownership with a 15% chance of being in the optimal lineup. Edwards has seen a bump without D'Angelo Russell on the floor this season, and Russell's not expected to play tonight. Without accounting for Karl Anthony Towns, Edwards has averaged 1.21 FanDuel points per minute without Russell on the floor, only 0.96 FanDuel points per minute alongside Russell. When you factor in Towns and that a lot of the minutes Edwards plays tonight will be with Towns on the floor, you can expect a little bit less than the 1.2 fantasy points per minute, but still a bump over where he normally is, and you should see elevated production as a result of Russell being out. Number 3, Zach Levine, $8,000, shooting guard eligible, projected for 13% ownership with a 16% chance of being in the optimal lineup. Levine has averaged about 1.15 fantasy points per minute this season. He has a favorable matchup against the Orlando Magic. Chicago has a healthy 115 implied total, and it's just a very favorable price point on Levine, not projected for quite as much ownership as he deserves. Number 2, Dejante Murray, $10,200, point guard and shooting guard eligible, so you can get him into a couple of extra lineup spots. He's currently projected for 17% ownership, 21% chance of being in the optimal lineup. Murray has averaged 1.39 FanDuel points per minute this season. He's facing the Golden State Warriors in what should be a very fast-paced game. We also just got several players, as I was recording, on Golden State ruled out. So a weaker Golden State team than normal. Probably plays into Murray's favor a little bit. We already knew that they were missing Draymond Green, who anchors their defense, but now they're missing Andrew Wiggins as well. They're missing Stephen Curry. You're just basically getting Dejante Murray against a fast-paced B squad at this point. So a very, very high ceiling for him. And then number 1, James Harden, currently probable for tonight's game. Still something we'll need to keep an eye on as the day goes along. But he's $10,500 with shooting guard and small forward eligibility. That small forward eligibility is really valuable since it's typically a little bit more difficult to find upside at that position than it is at either of the guard spots. So being able to use Harden there is pretty nice. He's projected for 18% ownership, 21% chance of being in the optimal lineup. Harden's averaged about 1.3 fantasy points per minute in the 4 games he's played this season without Kevin Durant and with Kyrie Irving. But going back to the start of last year, he's at about 1.5 fantasy points per minute. And I don't think there's any real reason to think that as the sample size grows, that Harden's average production doesn't get closer to where he was, including last year's games, because it's not like you've added any other high usage pieces to the Nets outside of Irving and Durant. So Harden still looks like a very high upside option that's going a little bit underowned. So to recap, the top 5 tournament options on FanDuel as things stand right now: Scottie Barnes, number 5. Number 4, Anthony Edwards. Number 3, Zach Levine. Number 2, Dejante Murray. And number 1, James Harden.